Lassie Farm here with Why I Live at the Post Office. Episode 5, I believe. Next, Uncle Rondo. I must say that Uncle Rondo has been marvelous to me at various times in the past, and I was completely unprepared to be made to jump out of my skin the way it turned out. Once, Stella Rondo did something perfectly horrible to him, broke a chain letter from Flanders Field, and he took the radio back he had given her and gave it to me. Stella Rondo was furious. For 6 months, we all had to call her Stella instead of Stella Rondo, or she wouldn't answer. I always thought Uncle Rondo had all the brains of the entire family. Another time, he sent me to Mammoth Cave with all expenses paid. But this would be the day he was drinking that prescription, the 4th of July. So, at supper, Stella Rondo speaks up and says she thinks Uncle Rondo ought to try to eat a little something. So finally, Uncle Rondo said he would try a little cold biscuits and ketchup. But that was all. So she brought it to him. Do you think it's wise to disport with ketchup in Stella Rondo's flesh-colored kimono? I says, trying to be considerate. If Stella Rondo couldn't watch out for her trousseau, someone had to. Any objections? Asks Uncle Rondo, just about to pour out all the ketchup. Don't mind what she says, Uncle Rondo, says Stella. Sister has been devoting the solid afternoon to sneering out my bedroom window at the way you look. What's that? Says Uncle Rondo. Uncle Rondo has got the most terrible temper in the world. Anything is liable to make him tear the house down if it comes at the wrong time. So, Stella Rondo says, Sister says Uncle Rondo certainly does look like a fool in that pink kimono. Do you remember who it was really said that?
Going back to the best of 1990 to 2000, U2 with Hold Me, Thrill Me, Kiss Me, Kill Me, the song made famous from the Batman Forever soundtrack. It's Jenny with you here on U2X, and I've got a track from Ash, who have toured and played with U2 on a number of occasions. This is from 1977. It's Girl from Mars.
Do you remember a time when you were girl from Mars?
Okay. Where was I? Uncle Rondo spills out all the ketchup and jumps out of his chair and tears off the kimono and throws it down on the dirty floor and puts his foot on it. It has to be sent all the way to Jackson to the cleaners and repleated. So that's your opinion of your Uncle Rondo, is it? He says. I look like a fool, do I? Well, that's the last straw. A whole day in this house with nothing to do, and then to hear you come out with a remark like that behind my back. Come on, focus. I didn't say any such a thing, Uncle Rondo, I says, and I'm not saying who did either. Why, I think you look all right. Just try to take care of yourself and not talk and eat at the same time, I says. I think you better go lie down. Lie down my foot, says Uncle Rondo. I ought to have known by that he was fixing to do something perfectly horrible. So he didn't do anything that night. In the precarious state he was in, just played casino with Mama and Stella Rondo and Shirley T, and gave Shirley T a nickel with a head on both sides. It tickled her nearly to death, and she called him Papa. But at 6:30 a.m. the next morning, he threw a whole 5-cent package of some unsold 1-inch firecrackers from the store as hard as he could into my bedroom, and everyone went off. Not one bad one in the string. Anyone else, there'd be one that wouldn't go off. Well, I'm just terribly susceptible to noise of any kind. The doctor has always told me that I was the most sensitive person he had ever seen in his whole life, and I was simply prostrated. I couldn't eat. People tell me they heard it as far as the cemetery, and old Aunt Jep Patterson, that had been holding her own so good, thought it was the Judgment Day, and she was going to meet her whole family. It's usually so quiet here. And I tell you, it didn't take me any longer than a minute to make up my mind what to do. There I was, with the whole house on Stella Rondo's side and turned against me. If I have anything at all, I have pride. So I just decided I'd go straight down to the post office. There's plenty of room there in the back, I says to myself. Well, I made no bones about letting the family catch on to what I was up to. I didn't try to conceal it. And we'll leave it there for now. This very odd short story called Why I Live at the Post Office. The pages are falling out of this book I bought on eBay. But it's kind of cool. There's a lot of stuff in here. It's why this won't focus is beyond me. Anyways, thanks for watching.